Have you ever experienced a moment that made you feel goosebumps, wondering if what happened was real or just an illusion? In this video, we share with you a real, terrifying story from our world, one that might make you look at things in a completely different way. If you have a scary story you've personally experienced or heard about from your friends or relatives, don't hesitate to share it with us in the comments. Maybe your story will be the next one we tell in this place filled with excitement and mystery. And don't forget to support us with a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest horror and suspense stories. Now, let's begin our journey into the depths of the unknown. Ready? Then let's go. It may seem a little strange, but trust me. My name is Garrett, and this happened when I was a sophomore in college. After not getting a dorm room my freshman year, I scrambled for off-campus housing and ended up in a co-op, part of a three-house community that was sort of near campus, but not really. It wasn't ideal, but it was cheap, and I didn't have many options. Plus, I had a bike, so I didn't mind the extra travel time. Most of the residents were young students like me, but there were a few exceptions. Some alumni, a couple of TAs, and a few older people working on degrees later in life. But the person who immediately caught my attention was an older woman who lived in one of the other houses. She looked to be in her late 50s, though she seemed older, with graying hair and a slight limp, as if she had a back injury. She was quiet and kept to herself, always wearing a blank, almost emotionless expression. I assumed she had some connection to the university, maybe faculty or alumni, but no one explained and I didn't ask. The first time I saw her do something strange was in the common kitchen. It was odd because the other two houses had their own kitchens. So I didn't know why she was in ours. She wasn't cooking, eating, or talking to anyone. She just stood there, staring blankly as the rest of us moved around, making dinner and chatting. She didn't try to join in, and no one acknowledged her presence, which struck me as even weirder. Later that week, while doing homework in my room, I glanced out the window and saw her again. She was standing in the middle of the street, staring directly up at my window. It was late and cold, but she just stood there, unbothered. I couldn't tell if she was looking at my window specifically or just in the general direction of the house. Trying to break the tension, I waved at her. The moment I did, I regretted it. She didn't wave back. Instead, she jumped up and down a few times, like she was excited, then sprinted toward one of the other houses, presumably hers. A chill ran down my spine. Not only had I acknowledged her, but I had confirmed that she had been looking into my room the entire time. One night, as I stepped out of my room, I almost collided with her. She was standing right outside my door, just staring at me. It was past midnight on a Tuesday, and the house was mostly dead silent. She didn't react at all when she saw me, just turned and walked away, like I was the one intruding on her space. After that, I kept catching her in odd places where she clearly didn't belong. Sometimes I'd find her lurking in the hallway or wandering through the kitchen late at night. Then, one evening, I realized my room key was missing. The co-op houses had personal locks and keys, since they used to be part of an old hotel. I usually kept my door locked to feel safe, so losing my key was a big deal. I knew I had a spare, but it still annoyed me to think of getting another copy. A few nights later, I woke up abruptly, feeling a strange sense of unease. That's when I heard it, a soft bumping noise coming from my closet. It sounded like something shifting every 20 seconds or so. My pulse quickened, but I wasn't about to cower. I took a deep breath, got out of bed, and approached the closet. With one swift motion, I yanked the door open and screamed like a madman. But what I saw made my blood turn to ice. The woman was inside my closet. One of my ties was wrapped around her neck, and her eyes were wide open, filled with a terrifying emptiness. In her other hand, She was gripping a kitchen knife. My scream must have startled her, because she lunged at me, knife outstretched. My scream this time wasn't a bluff. It was a scream of pure fear. Despite her frail and small frame, she fought with surprising intensity, kicking and biting as I wrestled her to the ground. Thankfully, I managed to disarm her pretty easily, but the encounter was still terrifying. I yelled for help, and soon my friend Lee and some others rushed down the hall. Lee helped me hold her down while someone else called the police. The rest of the night was a blur. The police arrived quickly and arrested her on the spot. By then, she had stopped screaming and refused to say a word, which was even more unsettling. To no one's surprise, they found my missing room key in her possession. A few weeks later, the truth came out. She was the property manager's sister, and instead of getting her proper mental health care, he had been hiding her in one of the vacant rooms. He didn't want to lose his job or deal with the hassle of committing her, so he let her stay secretly. Eventually, he was arrested for negligence and several other charges. Honestly, I blame him far more than her. She was just a victim of his negligence. But no amount of pity can change the fact that she almost killed me that night. I could have died because of his selfish choices. I'm about to graduate soon, and while I'll miss college, I don't think I'll ever be able to look back on my time there without remembering that horrifying night.